Hello, this is Bullet, aka the Passive Aggressive Sherpa. In today's video, I need to rant a bit because a lot has happened this weekend, and oddly at the same time, nothing happened in so many ways. I can't tell you about the last few days in a straightforward chronological order. The events will be told as I recall the feelings around them. I do this because sometimes something can happen, but it doesn't affect you until hours, months, days, even years later. For this narrative, it's just best that I roll with it and not get too hung up on the timeline. About a month ago, I was told by a new client they wanted me to redesign their website. If you don't know, I have a few jobs. Web designer is one of them. I was thrilled. I need the work because I'm going broke trying to keep this gamer channel alive. Of course, they hadn't paid me yet, and I wouldn't do anything for them until they gave me the usual half down that I require. But I felt confident that they would hire me because they literally fired their old web designer after talking to me. I made the mistake of buying a couple of things because I knew I'd be getting some money from them. These weren't major expenses, just a couple of fun things. I gave my son some money who was moving cross country, and I bought an Echo Dot on Amazon that was on sale for 29 bucks. Then I'm called back to their office about a week later. I'm expecting to pick up my check, but instead I'm told they can't pay me right now to do their site. They can't until they get the new budget for the new year. But they can give me a few bucks to help them with their current site. Just a little to keep it going until the first of the new year when they get their budget. Reluctantly, I agree, because cleaning up other people's messes is a ton more work than starting from scratch. And I again would have to wait another week before getting that money. So that was a bummer, to say the least, but I moved on. I knew that I had a new job coming up from another client of mine, a wonderful client whose site I just redesigned. She wanted to hire me to work on her site on a regular basis. This would mean a steady income. I wasn't expecting to buy a yacht or move to the Hamptons or anything, but maybe I'd at least be able to take a day off or two and not feel guilty that I wasn't doing something trying to earn $1. I do something stupid again. I spend money I don't have. Nothing extravagant. I buy a couple of Blu-rays and 2 Funko Pop dolls. Because I've been addicted. I've become addicted. And I just wanted to get that Michael Myers and Jason Pops added to my very small collection. Then Friday afternoon comes along, and my most beloved client and good friend can't hire me right now. This has become a theme of my life over the years. I was truly disappointed. I made the mistake of getting my hopes up. I'm not a pessimist by nature. I'm more of a realist. My part-time boss and best friend, Medium, calls himself a realist. He's not. He's a pessimist that mistakenly thinks he's a realist. I'm a realist that is often mistaken for a pessimist. Anyways, I dive into work for my new client. I had some stuff they needed me to fix on their site. I go to work on it, but it turns out one of the things they wanted me to do wasn't for their site. It was for some other site that I don't have access to and can't fix. As a webmaster, I don't have access to every site, nor do I own every site. I can only access sites that I own or have access to. I told them they would need to contact the people who run that site to make those changes. Moved on to the other thing they need me to do. Couldn't do that either. No one had the text they wanted me to add to the site. So great, my day and weekend are now free. I jump into some Destiny. I have so much to do, I can't wait to get started. I need to make the Xur video. I need to make a video showing the opening of the 10 Solstice of Heroes engrams I got. These videos don't make themselves. I wish I could just record my gameplay and upload the video on how nice and easy that would be. But no, it takes hours just to make my weekly Xur video. 5-minute video, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes longer. I have to write a script. If I don't write the script, I go off script. I can't remember the names of things. I say and every other sentence. I have to script this stuff or I go off script. It just becomes unbearable to listen to. Seriously, thank you all for tolerating my bad narration. And if you ever watched my tutorial videos, those are mostly unscripted, so you know exactly how bad it can get. Anyways, the rest of the day goes as planned until I get an email from my most beloved client. She's let me know that she too can't hire me. I think I already mentioned that. My dreams of a steady income are now gone. I've spent money twice on things I didn't need because I'm an idiot. And with no money coming in to back up those expenditures, it's going to make sure that next month sucks fuck my life. I take a deep breath and decide that I can't focus on my YouTube channel. I've been neglecting it lately due to all the outside work I've had to do. Well, I now have new vigor. I'm going to bust out some awesome videos and get some great gameplay, get new subscribers, gonna knock this shit out of the park. Saturday rolls around and I'm killing it. Got my Solstice engram video up. I'm happily working on some stuff in the Crucible when I start to hear some loud banging sounds coming from outside. No, not that kind of banging. Get your minds out of the gutter. gutter. I walk out onto the back patio, and the wind is blowing something fierce. Seriously, it was blowing so hard I got jealous. Oh wait, I guess it was my mind that was in the gutter. There's a light mist of rain. It doesn't rain for more than a few days a year out here. And when it does, it's like bad sex. It doesn't last long. Damn it, I can't get my head out of the proverbial gutter. Then there's lightning. In the midst of the rain, the lightning strikes off in the distance. You can see the rain pouring heavily out there, but it's just drizzling here. I'm doing that trick where you count the time between the lightning and the sound of the thunder, and each time it's getting closer. It was kind of spooky looking outside at all the dust and sand blowing in the darkened sky, giving everything this dark but kind of golden, hazy glow. It had been about 110 that day, and suddenly I get a chill. The temperature drops to about 82 in a matter of minutes. The wind still is whipping around, but now with cold bursts of air. It actually felt pretty good underneath the carport where I stood, but the wind is getting worse. The rain is really starting to come down, and the sun is now fully set. I break out the video camera on my phone and capture some of it. It was so intense. This video just doesn't do it justice. And of course, it got worse as soon as I stopped recording. The power had already gone out. I figured it would be down maybe an hour, maybe 2, 4 hours tops. I was so very wrong. I went back inside, lit some candles, sat and listened to the storm blowing outside. Then it got eerily quiet. The wind had stopped. Just the faint sound of light rain. Then after about a minute of this, the skies opened and it poured and poured. It was heavy for at least an hour. In the 4 years I've lived in this hellhole known as Bullhead City, I think that I've seen it rain lightly once for about 15 minutes. That's the longest. I mean, it's rained 3 or 4 times, but the longest time, literally about 15 minutes. This rain went on for at least an hour. For us, I figured this was going to be disastrous. It was now about 10 p.m. and the power still off, and the temperature was rising, the humidity becoming unbearable. I sat in my little office home by candlelight as lightning continued to flash through the windows. The thunder that followed was getting stronger. A couple of times it rolled through the house, shaking it like an earthquake. I had never experienced that before. Well, I was almost struck by lightning once, but that was an entirely different sensation. This was scary in a whole different way. You see, that one time when I was almost struck by lightning, it was startling. It happened so fast, and it scared the crap out of me. But there was no time to think about it. It just happened. This night was different. With my cell phone dying, I was slowly being cut off from the outside world. It could be ending out there for all I knew. By the sounds of it, it was. Around midnight, the rain had mostly stopped. Mostly. The lightning was still there, but it was off in the distance. I decided to go for a drive. Sleep was out of the question for me. I have trouble sleeping in the heat. Also, I use what's called a CPAP machine. Without it, I snore to the point of waking myself up. Seriously, I scare small children. And I stop breathing to dangerous levels without it. So I go for a drive. I figure I could charge my cell phone and see how the widespread outage was causing. As I drove around Bullhead City that night, I was struck with how many people were also out this late. But there was a huge event taking place in Laughlin, Nevada. That's just across the river from us. Thousands and thousands of people show up for this annual river regatta every year. As I drove closer to the Laughlin border, I could see they had power on that side. All the casinos so brightly lit, while pure darkness reigned on our side. I drive a big circle around our city 3 times. There were some parts that had power, but most of us did not. With my newly charged phone, I tried to check the news outlets and heard nothing. No news on the power outage other than crews are working on it. The local paper out here, the Mojave Valley Daily News, was useless. Their reporting was as if done by an 8th grader, but not like a smart 8th grader, more like an 8th grader that's like a little slow and doesn't really give a shit about anything other than hoping you'll give him a cookie when he does something good. I got home around 1 a.m. I'd stopped at a gas station on the far side of town to buy a large 48-ounce cup of ice and a bottle of water. I dared not open the fridge or freezer at home for fear of the food losing its cool and going bad. I got home and watched some Netflix on my tablet until its battery died. I was drenched in sweat. The heat was so bad. The humidity, it just sucks the life out of you. It surrounds you, it sticks to you and pulls the sweat from your body in disgusting measures. You can't get cool. Even if you could turn on a fan, the air is so wet it doesn't evaporate the sweat off you, causing that cooling sensation. I went for another drive around 2 a.m. Oh, how my car's AC felt so amazing. Power was still off throughout most of the city. I returned home, watched some more Netflix, and tried to sleep a little while laying back in my recliner, but no sleep was to come. After another 2 hours, I went for another drive, mainly to get out of the heat and away from the humidity. I noticed that more of the city now had power. We had been without power by this point for about 8 or 9 hours. I was sure our power would be on by 6 or 7 a.m. at the latest, with so much of the city's power having been restored already. After returning home, I tried once again to sleep, this time in bed. I was so tired and yet couldn't fall asleep. The sheets now soaked through from my sweat. I couldn't take it anymore. I got up and went back to the recliner for more Netflix. After an hour or so, I tried the bed again. To my surprise, I slept for almost an hour. It was around 8 a.m. when I got up, still no power, covered in sweat. There seemed no escape from it. I went for another drive. More power in the city, a good sign, but we still remained dark. Upon returning home, I sat mostly in the carport/patio looking at the barbecue, a huge barbecue that had literally been thrown across our yard by the wind the night before. I looked at the Facebook page for the local paper. Again, they let me down. Keep in mind, widespread power outages in a city that can routinely reach 120 more degrees, high humidity, and their team of crack reporters left this pile of shit as news. I was furious at the incompetence. I mean, 3 sentences and 2 photos of people fixing power lines? This doesn't help me. The fucking Red Cross was setting up what they call cooling areas, handing out water as well. 24,000 or more people without power in a small city like this. It's a big deal around here, and their news team couldn't get an estimate as to when the power would be back up, where the Red Cross cooling area is. I had to respond, and it wasn't nice. Seriously, I'm sitting outside reading this pathetic Facebook post by our primary source of news for this area, and I felt like I literally knew less after reading their pathetic post. I mean, should I pack up and get a room for the next day or two? Do they expect power to be on or out another day? Was there a timeline they had? By this point, crews had been working for over 10 hours. They must have had some idea as to when the power would be fully restored, or at least when various areas would be. And this newspaper couldn't even ask the electric company the most basic of questions, or if they did, they walked away without getting proper responses. Either way was unacceptable from a legitimate news source like this. After writing out my response on my cell phone, which is no easy task, I have big hands, and texting shit isn't easy for me, so I don't ever text anything more than a short sentence. But this had pissed me off something special. For this, I texted a full paragraph of my sarcastic rage. So after venting, I decided to drive out to see the Hoover fucking Dam. Never seen it before. It's only 2 hours away. I figure I can get out of the house, be in the car with a nice blowing AC in my face, and with any luck, by the time I return, the power would be restored. It's about noon now. I stand up, decide to get ready for the road trip. I need to take a quick shower before I get on my way, and as soon as I stand up, the power comes back on. The sense of relief was overwhelming, and as I reflect back on it all, I cannot get over how truly lucky I am. In total, I spent about 18 hours without power. In the greater scheme of things, this is nothing. I think of all the families that have suffered from hurricanes, lost their homes, had to go days without food and shelter. I thought of our Puerto Rican friends who to this day, after months and months, nearly a year, still don't have power after the devastating hurricane that hit them. The fact that I didn't get a couple of jobs seems so small to me now. Of course, next month, when I'm again struggling to pay my bills because I've been playing Destiny 2's Year 2 expansion Forsaken 24/7, I will probably feel different. But as for now, I'm left feeling so very thankful that what I endured only lasted a day. Within an hour of the power being back on, I was in line at the local Carl's Jr., and I did decline a straw. You're welcome, the Vertigo Vixen. I was then back sitting in my recliner, gouging myself on food I shouldn't be eating, while enjoying the luxuries of a fully powered home, watching things from my fully functional DVR, and enjoying that powerful home AC unit. Then I went and took a nap to catch up on some much needed sleep. There really is no moral to this story. I just needed to rant. I don't mean to teach a lesson or stress a certain point of view, other than that perhaps sometimes, as bad as we think it is, it can almost always get worse. And on to a couple of channel-related notes. The next big Destiny update is in 2 weeks. So as you play until then, keep in mind of these changes that will be taking effect on August 28th. So remember, destination materials will become your main source of reputation on their respective destinations. Destination materials will be part of the cost to infuse different weapons and armor across your arsenal. Year 1 challenges that granted reputation tokens are being retired, but will be replaced by bounties offered on each destination that provide destination materials. Destination tokens and rare destination materials are no longer awarded, but you can still redeem them for reputation if you have them in your inventory. Anything that previously granted tokens or rare materials will reward common destination materials moving forward. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the destination tokens that you have, maybe hold on to them, and then after the 28th, you can then redeem them to get the new tokens, the destination materials that you'll need. So hold on to them, plan accordingly, read the this week Bungie post. I'll always try to keep you informed as to what's new every Friday with at the end of the Xur video, and lead you to links to where you can find out more information. As for my channel videos, I will have the usual weekly reset videos and Xur videos. I'm not sure what else I'll get out before then. I'm hoping to get some new gameplay videos along the way, but as usual, I'm having a hard time finding the people I need when I need them. There's stuff I have to do, and I can't do it alone. Why can't everyone run on my schedule, damn it? But I'm going to reach out to a couple of people today and see if I can get them to help me with some stuff, maybe on a regular basis. Also, if you haven't done the past quest to get the Rat King, if you haven't even started it, let me know. I need one person that doesn't have it, or at least has very little of the quest done. I would like to run the entire quest with you in an afternoon or night. This will take about 4 or 5 hours, I'm guessing, so if you're up for the grind, please hit me up. I've already done the quest, but my most watched video is on the Rat King quest, and people are still having problems trying to get it to this day. I think getting a new video will help. So, if you need it and you're on Xbox, let me know. Thank you. And that's about it for this video. Remember, if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's always appreciated. And if we could get 1,187 likes on this video, that'd be great. But most of all, thanks for watching. But seriously, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.